The definition of playwork is the act of enabling play.
Playwork's a particular approach to working with children where you take what the child's wishes are and you, as a play worker, try to meet and support and facilitate whatever it is they want to do.
Play workers see play as the fundamental means by which children learn and develop. And playwork has been described as the art and science of enabling that to happen.
Children learn and develop while they're playing, and there's lots of circumstances in the modern world that mean that that process doesn't happen. Things like the amount of traffic there is in the streets, parents' fears of strangers letting their children out.
And what you're going to do is we're going to push it in, we're going to pull it back and chop it up.
Children living in awful accommodation and so on. And there's lots of reasons why children can't get out to play in the way that they did maybe 20 or 30 years ago.
The field of playwork is a relatively new field compared to some other disciplines at university. So quite a lot of the research and theory that we look to is from a wide range of other disciplines.
Into something called a holarchy or holarchy. It comes from a psychological perspective that things are set out in holons, that is, they are whole. So if you think of the family unit.
The students are not just narrowly looking at play and playwork, they're looking at a whole range of disciplines that affect children's lives and affect their work with children. That's what makes the course stronger.
I chose an elective in the first year that was called Creative Play that Maggie, one of the tutors, does. And it's just all hands on it. It's just amazing, especially in the first year if you didn't know much about playwork. It was just like an eye-opener, all these amazing creative things you can do with children.
Off we go to strawberry corner.
Well done, Alan.
It's a real privilege to be here. This is called Towards a Unified Playwork Theory for Provision for Play.
Sometimes as part of the course we get some of the best known writers and thinkers in the playwork field to come and offer a presentation to our students.
What is it that play does? What is play? And if we create environments for play to happen in, what kind of environments should they be?
So if you want to talk us through one of the stories that you've addressed so far. Academically, the course follows two strands, really, I guess. There's the sociology and psychology of play and children's development.
This is the biggie.
The modules I teach tend to focus predominantly on social policy and the sociology of childhood. We study the way in which children are viewed within UK society and how that affects their opportunities to play and develop.
So what can we infer from that story? What sort of reaction is it trying to provoke in the reader? And how does it do that? They're the questions we're asking, really.
I think they're developing their faculties of analytical thought. They're studying newspaper articles in a particular exercise that we do and beginning to understand the subtle tacit messages that they convey about children and young people. Then how adults tend to treat children. I think in the UK society today we have a pretty intolerant attitude on the whole, and for play workers we need to understand how that develops, I think, in order to challenge it to some extent.
Starting with the child at the centre and then working outwards from a playwork perspective in terms of the range, if you like.
We do all the teaching in the first part of the year, and then all the placement element is in the second part. Just over a third of the course is what we call experiential learning. So students go out on placement.
Often to nurseries, out-of-school clubs, holiday play schemes, working directly with children in a real wide range actually of placements. We've got 2 students working in prisons presently.
I'm on this bit of wood. I'll put my hand there.
Bang your hand on it.
You don't want to bang your hand because then you end up with really fat fingers. You can't pick up things or use phones very well.
Hi, I'm Stevie. I'm the first year on the Playworks BA Honours course, and this is my first placement of Adventure Playground.
Can you stand up, Paula?
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a second year placement student. The placements have been fantastic, especially this year. It's been unbelievable this year.
Think of something silly what you can do.
When you come on placement, it's a really big help because you're like more involved and you're more active, so you understand it more like deeper.
I had a totally different idea of what Playwork was from my first year placement. I just saw a totally different side of it, which I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. And it's a lot different to many other courses that you do, and I think for me I learn more by actually doing things. So it's very practical and hands-on, and that's really good. You learn a lot by doing that.
From the northeast we got chased by bees, and that's why we bring this feast.
This is a professional course, so we have to turn out people who can't just talk the talk, but have demonstrated that they can walk the walk. So for the second semester at levels 4 and 5, students go out into the field and show that they can do it. They can take all that learning and apply it to practice.
It can be an enjoyable, fun way of learning, but you're learning in a real place with real children, and you're learning from good supervisors in a setting where you are as well.
While they're on placement, we have them keep a logbook, keep a kind of reflection on everything that's happening to them, and that's part of the assessment process. And I've lost count of the number of times I've read in one of those logbooks a student saying, now I really understand what all the theory is about.
In level 5, you have the opportunity to go abroad.
Hong Kong, the United States, Australia, Canada.
My second year I went to Japan, which was a connection that I obtained through Stephen Rennie, who's a tutor on the course. And I worked with Hitoshi Shimamura, who's a world-renowned play worker. He's absolutely fantastic. He's related with the International Playwork Association.
In my second year I went to Salt Lake City in America, and I worked at a homeless shelter. Worked with the children there and with the YMCA and some outreach programs.
We send students out to work with Ghana Outlook, which is a very Playwork-based type of charitable organisation. And they don't go to the posh bits of Ghana.
Having the opportunity to go abroad, if you can do in the second year, is something that is beneficial, because I feel like I gained a lot of skills to do with my play practice, but I don't know, I think I just developed overall just by doing something on my own and going to a different culture and experiencing it myself.
Students who travel abroad, I think there's a whole host of experiences that they wouldn't otherwise get. It can have a real profound effect on their studies when they return. We often find that students, once they've returned from a period of experiential learning and they've put that theory into practice, are really highly motivated actually. It's a very important part of the course.
What I want you to make sure that you're doing is that while you're working on the project as well, that you're still keeping grips of you as a group.
Yeah.
We have modules that run through all 3 years of the course, which are designed to promote students' personal and professional development.
She's always late.
As part of that, we have a group tutorial system. We're a small course, so we know all our students well. We know them all individually, and the group tutor scheme enables us to get to know students better.
I've noticed that all literature around risk play concentrates on physical risk, so I wanted to look more at social risks that children take within their play, so that was the kind of basis of my dissertation. And I did my own research. I did observations within the school playground. I wanted to just tell you about one of them, which was 2 little boys, and they were sat on, it was like a flower bed with some seating, and one of them was distracted watching some of the children, and the other boy was going to smack him and stop him just before he did, and then the other boy noticed and he turned it into a robot dance and started doing like a robot dance, which was really nice, but that for him was his safety net to protect it. I mean, he got found out and he got hit anyway, but it was kind of his protection, and I found that in a lot of instances, play workers tend to be that protection for the child.
The whole point about being a play worker is not that you tell children how to play or that you tell children what to think, but that you create an environment that children will want to play with. And to be able to do that, you need to think back to when you were a child and think about the kind of places that you used to go to and play and get enjoyment from. if you can get to the essence of that experience, if you, for example, remember that it wasn't all tidy, but it was a lot of mess, and if it wasn't all quiet, but it was a lot of noise, and there were not just one or two things to do, but hundreds of things to do, then that's the kind of space that today's children need, and you will be involved in creating that space and managing that space.
Something that sets Playwork apart as a course is the diverse range of career opportunities that are available to them in both the private, public and voluntary sectors.
We have ex-students working in adventure playgrounds and therapeutic centres.
They would be play development officers in local authorities or major voluntary organisations. They would run play centres.
Because of the wide range of places they can go, it means that when they graduate, there are a wide range of opportunities for their employment.
One thing you can say about the course is that there's a very good chance that you will get a job, as opposed to a pure academic course where you're probably then going to have to go on and do some sort of professional practice element to top up your course. So people who come into our course can be fairly sure that they're going to get some sort of Playwork related job at the end of it.